Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. It's a beautiful day. It's shaping up to be a beautiful weekend. And this is usually the time of year where we spend a lot of time planning our barbecues and vacations. It's also a time of remembrance. Memorial Day weekend is absolutely huge in our culture because we live in a free country. And I think it's important that we take time to consider what that means, and that's what today's dedication is all about. Thinking about those who've come and those who've served, those who continue to serve to protect us for our freedom. We have a lot of students who are on our campus now, who are the veterans, lots of folks in our community. So now is the time to kind of thank them and honor them. And how about we just give a round of applause right now in their honor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Wenatchee Valley College, I want to welcome all of you here today. This is really a great occasion for us. Over the past few years, we have seen our veteran population just kind of bloom and come out and be comfortable here and learn here. And so that is great. Before I introduce the artist of this work, I'd like to say a little bit about the project and how it came about. It was actually the vision of the class of 2012 and 13. The Student Senate talked about it, wanted something to happen, and they began the discussions with the veterans on campus and Laura Murphy, who is the advisor for them. Laura? As that progressed and we looked at the number of rising veterans, we knew we had to make some effort to honor them, and this is what has come out. The students have worked very hard to fund this and to get this done, and so it really is coming from the students. They brought it to the Board of Trustees because anything that we place permanently on campus has to be approved by the board, and they brought several different renderings, and the board approved this that you will see today, but also the board wanted to thank the students for their involvement and what they have done to bring this forward. The trustees have been instrumental in moving this project forward, and that's why they are here today in full support of this project. Of course, the final project wouldn't be here without the artist, Lance Dooley. The sculpture is more than just a tribute. In addition to honoring veterans and members of the military, it holds special meaning to the college because of its creator. Lance Dooley was a sergeant in the Army in the late 1980s. After finishing his military service, he returned home and enrolled here at Wenatchee Valley College. He graduated and was awarded the President's Medal in 1992. The President's Medal is one of a kind on each campus. And so that tells you what kind of student Lance was at Wenatchee Valley College in 1992. In fact, I look forward to awarding 2 more of those coming up in a few short days at graduation, one here and one in Omak. After a period of time, though, Lance went on to study classical sculpture in Florence, Italy. And he has work in private collections throughout America, Canada, and Europe. His bronze work is also on display throughout Wenatchee. I'm certain many of you have been to Pybus Public Market on the waterfront and possibly read about Lance in the Wenatchee World. Last year, he created the impressive new 7-foot bronze statue in honor of the market's namesake, E.T. Pybus. The bronze portrait of Coach Tom Byrne in the sports department at Wenatchee High School, and the small bronze figure by the fire station and post office on Chelan Street are a few more examples of his work that is on display here. Student veteran, WVC graduate, President's Medal winner, talented sculptor, and let me not forget, adjunct art faculty member in the Music and Arts Center. Thank you, Lance, for creating this beautiful Veterans Tribute sculpture, and thank you again to the Student Senate, the Veterans Office, and Board of Trustees for making this unveiling ceremony possible. Lance, please come forward.
Thank you, Jim. Keep my sunglasses on if that's okay. Well, I just want to thank you for coming to the ceremony today. Like Jim said, this project began about 1.5 years ago with conversations between the Veterans Office and the Student Senate. When young men and women join the armed forces, they are protecting our freedom and our country. The 2 most prominent symbols of our country are the flag and the bald eagle. I have combined those 2 symbols into a design that I hope you find aesthetically pleasing. When you pass by this sculpture, I hope you'll give some thought to the men and the women who gave so very much to keep our country strong. Thank you very much.
Drum roll, please. It is a beautiful sculpture. Now we'll have a poetry reading by WBC faculty and esteemed poet Derek Sheffield.
I'm with the World War I poet Wilfred Owen when he says that all poets can do today is warn, and so all true poets must be truthful. With that in mind, I want to thank Tony and his committee for letting me read to you today a poem written by Brian Turner. Brian Turner was an infantry team leader for a year in Iraq with the 3rd Stryker Brigade combat team, 2nd Infantry Division. Prior to that, he deployed to Bosnia with the 10th Mountain Division. This poem is set on his return, coming back from Iraq, and thinking about his experience and asking that question that so many of our veterans have asked and will continue to ask, and that is, what next? After the poem, I would like us all to observe a moment of silence in honor of our Veterans Day, with the knowledge that Memorial Day is just a few days away. This is Night in Blue. At 7,000 feet and looking back, running lights blacked out under the wings, and America waiting, a year of my life disappears at midnight. The sky, a deep viridian, the house lights below, small as match heads, burned down to embers. Has this year made me a better lover? Will I understand something of hardship, of loss? Will a lover sense this in my kiss or touch? What do I know of redemption or sacrifice? What will I have to say of the dead? That it was worth it? That any of it made sense? I have no words to speak of war. I never dug the graves in Talifar. I never held the mother crying in Ramadi. I never lifted my friend's body when they carried him home. I have only the shadows under the leaves to take with me, the quiet of the desert, the low fog of Balad, orange groves with ice forming on the rinds of fruit. I have a woman crying in my ear late at night when the stars go dim, moonlight and sand as a resonance of the dust of bones and nothing more. Thank you, and thank you to our veterans.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, President Richardson, for being here. And thank all of you for coming out. This is a really, really cool day for Wenatchee Valley College. The program doesn't end quite yet. We have lemonade and cookies over here for your pleasure. It's over in the shade, so you can get out of the sun for a little bit. Thank you all for coming out, and I think Lance will be here. If you have any questions, feel free to come up and take pictures with the sculptor. Thank you very much.